Hey everybody, it's Dr. Rose here. I thought since I've posted the exam, but we don't have class time to take questions until Friday, in addition to your ability to use my office hours on Wednesday and Friday, I thought maybe hopefully 5 minute of 5 minutes of me sort of pointing out some things about the exam would help you understand it and help you get started making your plans, taking notes, starting to write if you have time this week to get a head start. So here we go. Here's your midterm exam, and it is two parts. So you will turn this in to Scholar by 2 p.m. on Monday, and that means one very small benefit of having your midterm exam as a take-home is we will not hold class on Monday. You can finish it up, do some final editing if you want to, and just make sure it's in before 2 and have a day off from class, or finish it early and have a little break on Monday afternoon. Most importantly, what you want to know about here is part one is three quotations, and you choose two of them, so you can leave one out. Once you choose them, you can see that you're writing two paragraphs for each quotation that you've chosen. The first one engages with the quote. Find the meaning in it. Look for the key concept. I've picked all of them because I think they encapsulate a key concept that we've talked about a lot in class. So the three I picked are from Pinchot, Fuller, and Leopold, and you can pick two of those. Once you do, two paragraphs. The first one engaging with the quotation on its own, and the second one, the second paragraph, I want you to then choose another author that you think has an interesting relation to this quotation, to some of the ideas you've noticed in the quote, and discuss them in comparison. So one paragraph, kind of close reading the quotation itself and connecting it to our class conversation, and then a second paragraph where you introduce an author of your choice and kind of compare, contrast that new author with what you noticed in the first quote. And that's it. Do that twice. So for this section, we'll have 4 paragraphs total, 2 for each of the 2 quotes you pick. Then you move on to the longer section. That first part is worth 40% of the grade. The essay is heavily weighted at 60%. So this is the main portion of your paper. This is a little longer. I think I've put it at what should probably come to about 4 double-spaced pages, a max 5-ish. So it is some writing, but kind of a mid-sized essay in my mind. I've given you 2 essay questions. You choose one. Once you choose the one question, I want you to use 3 authors to engage with that question. So a big part of this is kind of choosing which one do you want to work with. And another really important part is then deciding what would be the best 3 authors to really engage with this idea well. So a lot of the work here goes in some advanced planning and your ability to kind of think across our class and make good selections. The grading here is going to be heavy on content of your ideas. There won't be a mechanics grade. However, I'm reading 23 of these, so the more organized and the less typos and the better paragraph structure that draws my attention to your good ideas, that's helpful. So it does not have to be as polished as a final draft of a paper, but try not to make it a free write that you did at 4 in the morning and just threw at me because I might get lost. So there is no mechanics grade, but try to be smart about leaving yourself time to edit and organize your answer so that I can read it smoothly and just pay attention to your ideas. It gives you some specifics about how to format it for me, and it gives you a strict word count. So it gives a suggested word count and a strict maximum. So don't go over that 1,750 words. I want everyone to be writing about the same length. And that way then I can just evaluate you on what you decided to put into that length of paper. So quality is the key here, not quantity. All right, last things. 2 questions, read through them. I think that they're really indicative of things that have come up over and over week to week across many of our texts. So they're kind of key themes. It was hard to choose 2. You'll notice that some of the quotations above reference some of the themes that don't make it here necessarily into a major essay question. But I'll let you read through those and bring questions to office hours or to Friday's class. One thing to note is that there is some there are some specifics in terms of which texts you can use once you pick one. If you pick the first essay, then you could use both Emerson and Thoreau, but you must start with one of the two, because I think that's where this conversation really begins. So you have to start with either Emerson or Thoreau. And then it gives you a list of other authors that you can use for this question. Second question, if you were to choose to do this one instead, this one asks that you start with Thoreau and the essay Walking specifically. And then down here, a list of other authors that you can choose. Look through that. I hope that I've given enough information but not made it too confusing. Strike a balance there, and that maybe this 6-minute video now is helpful. And I look forward to seeing your work. And I think the final thing I'll say is just that the idea here is for the exam really asks you to move back and forth between our individual texts and key concepts we've been exploring in what I call our ongoing class conversation. And to be able to move back and forth between these concepts and the way they manifest themselves, the way they are created, changed, challenged in our various texts, and what happens when we start to think about a concept across multiple texts. So moving back and forth between our key authors and our key concepts is really the idea of this exam, to try to explore the breadth of our conversation before you do research papers that will let you do the depth into a chosen topic. All right, now I'm at 7 minutes, so I'm going to stop. And I hope this makes sense and is helpful, and I'll see you all in class on Wednesday. Bye now.